Uh, yeah, Matt. All right, YouTube is going. Facebook is also now apparently going.
Matt,
Awesome, awesome. All right, guys. So we're back for episode 3 of Live Fridays. I'm Kai from ComixCanines. Today's guest, we have Ryan here from LunaMoons. Now, same as always, for the quick introduction, we have the STARS program that we just got verified for. So that'll all be going towards our shelter fund and all of that if you want to donate stars in the comments section. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think I kind of sent you that photo and you were like, nah, just put me on the spot. But we've got we've got 4 little categories to start with. And it's just learning about you and all of that. So we've got like motivation, inspiration, business, personal, and then personalized questions. So personal is more just understanding you and all that. And then personalized switches for every guest. And then after that, we have just a little discussion. And then I have like a surprise little game time just to spice things up pretty much.
yeah,
But
sweet.
yeah, we'll start with a little motivation, inspiration there. It's pretty much first questions are just, so what do you do? We kind of covered that, but what do you do?
Um, I'm a dog walker. I'm a dog walker that trains dogs here on the Gold Coast. Yeah, I've got my own business, LunaMoons Pet Care, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have you done anything else, or do you just stick to those two now? You just keep it pretty much there.
Yeah, when I started the business, it was just sort of it was just like that's why it's called pet care and not canine care or something more to do with dogs because I was like, oh, I'll feed cats while people are away and stuff like that, and it was the dog walking, which was the bit that I did enjoy the most, that sort of took off. And then over time, that led into people wanting to get their dogs trained, and turned out I had an affinity for that. So that's where we are.
Oh crap!
Oh, he's just gone. Oh crap, and then disappeared.
We're back. No, it does this every time for some reason. Literally, after the first question, it goes, "All right, let's just like ruin this kid's night quickly, and we'll come right back."
Okay,
Every time. That's the third time. I need to fix that. Interesting. Well, I'm glad I asked the question first. All right. So next up is why do you do it, and what do you hope to achieve with it all?
um, I suppose I do it because I love it, right? Like that's the old cliche, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
start your own business and do that thing that you love. But like, I do love it. But I won't pretend that if I won Lotto tomorrow, I'd still be walking people's dogs because I fucking wouldn't, right? I just wouldn't. I would
Yeah.
not, I might help the odd person out here and there and train their dog, but I would not be. I would not be out there walking dogs, right? I'd walk my own dogs, but I wouldn't be walking other people's troubled, difficult dogs. I don't love it that much. Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I do it, and yeah, you
Yeah. What
know.
do you hope to achieve with it all?
Um, look, again, it's that bit of a cliche, Like I do enjoy actually helping people's dogs, Like obviously, same thing too, right? I'll be honest, fucking makes money, right? So it's a
Plain and
living,
simple.
right? Yeah, plain and simple. It's a living, right? It's a business. So that's the first thing. It pays the bills. And secondly, I do, even though I'm a person that doesn't really like people, I do sort of enjoy getting that text message when someone says, "Oh, my dog's doing really well," and took her for a walk for the first time today in years, and that sort of stuff. And it's like, that makes you feel pretty good. So then just build the business, earn a living, and help a few people with their dogs as you
Yeah.
go.
That's beautiful, yeah. I've been asked it a fair bit as well myself, and it does make you kind of feel good knowing that this dog is 10 times easier now for the
Yeah,
owner, and then that's one less dog that has to be worried about, because I'm not sure if you guys are like Bathurst, but we have dogs getting out here all the time. We have fights, we have all of that, because it just dogs who just don't know what's going on. So it feels good knowing, like, this dude's good now. Like, it's a
yeah,
bit easier for everyone at the end of the day.
yeah.
All right, this is one that I was actually very interested to ask you. Oh, you're joking.
What?
Hold up. This has been so good. We are going absolutely phenomenal today. We are going very well. But this has been one I've been interested to ask because I've been following you for a bit, to be honest. But what inspired you to start all of this?
So I actually rehomed both of my dogs a few years ago, Luna and Rogue. Sort of some weird life things were going on, and it was sort of just it was the right decision at the time. I sort of sold my house, moved into a unit. There's just a lot going on, and it was just like it was the right thing to do. And it's like instantly, like after I'd done it, I was like, "Fuck, what did I do that for?" And then I sort of got back on track to where I wanted to be, and the people who took Luna, they could no longer look after her, and they're like, "Oh, hey, come." We're going to try and rehome it. Do you want it back? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, right, 100%. And then I got it back, and I was like, I'm not spiritual or anything like that, but it was sort of just like, righto, I feel bad. What can I do to spend more time with my dog? And I'd spent 15 years in construction, road construction, earth moving, and mining, and I was just like, what can I do to spend more time with my dog? And I was like, I'm gonna start a pet care business, and it's just gonna be me and her just driving around, like I said, feeding cats and walking dogs and doing whatever we can. And then it sort of took off from there, and she turned out to be the perfect helper dog when it came to working with other dogs on the lead, training, all that sort of stuff. So um, that was how it started.
That is bloody legendary. That's so funny you say that. My first thought when I started too was like, dude, I'm sick of not spending time with my dogs. I want to spend more time with my dogs. That's so funny. This is the last one, the motivation inspiration. So this is, take this one at you as you will. It's not meant to be some big exemplary statement of life, but how do you hope to make an impact? So in all of this,
Like just educating people. Um, you've gone. I'm not sure if everyone's still gone. If I'm still gone.
don't say
Um,
anything.
yeah. So like, just like I do enjoy educating people and making dogs and people's lives better. And through that education, whether it be like through the actual clients that I get, and also through social media, which I enjoy. Getting on social media and sort of. I'm probably a bit of a negative Nancy on social media. I definitely tell people more what not to do than what to do. But that's because everyone's doing the wrong fucking thing with their dogs. So, but that's the thing, if everybody starts doing the right thing, then it's gonna be easier. You're gonna be able to take your dog to more places because more dogs are trained and more dogs can be around other dogs, etc., etc. And, in a perfect world, wouldn't you be able to, like, I can take my dog almost everywhere. And I'd
Yeah.
love people to be able to do that. Spend the time training their dog and, take their dog everywhere and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Mine are they're good to go out, but if a lot of dogs try to start on them and then they just kind of they get a little riled up, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
work on just like learning like no, like chill guys. Like I know you're
Yeah.
defending yourself, but
Yeah.
just stop. It's okay. All right, this is a more of a business question. So, what's an overview of like your business model? So you do the walking, you do like the little training behavior stuff,
Yeah.
all the paperwork, all that fun stuff. But is there any more to it, or you just kind of keep it as simple as possible?
I genuinely do keep it as simple as possible. So, like most of my advertising, well, pretty much actually all of my advertising is through social media. So,
Mm.
and the thing is, I'm not doing anything particular. I'm not spending money. I'm just documenting my day, right? And that's how I advertise. You just document your day, doing this, doing this, doing this. So yeah, it's just I do the dog walking in the morning, and then I have my training sessions in the afternoon, and yeah, there's the paperwork, and you get everyone rolled in, and the packages and all the sorts of things that you have to do. But yeah, it's just about getting those clients who want their dogs walked for whatever reason, getting them walked, getting them introduced into the packs, doing all that stuff, and yeah, getting the dogs trained that need whether it be basic obedience or behavior modification, just getting them in and getting them trained, getting people happy. I definitely, I didn't start a business because I want to be a millionaire. I started a business because I wanted it. I wanted, I wanted it to be simple.
Yeah, no, nice. I get a lot of it. It still plays the audio, but I don't know why it's cutting in and out. This is the worst it's ever been.
Well, I'll just keep talking like you don't disappear.
Disappear. I have not disappeared yet.
No, on my one, when you go away, yeah, you disappear, and I'm just like, well, he's gone.
Yeah. Where's this guy going? All right. Words, things,
Yeah.
talking. have you ever thought about taking it further, like doing any more, like having a little mini website selling like leads, how it is? I know you have the merch and that, but you're just
Um,
keeping it just where it is, happy with what it's at.
Yeah, so I got leads off. There's another dog walker here that do like boarding here on the Gold Coast that I get my leads from, and they're really good quality leads. So like if I didn't find those leads, those slip leads that I use, I probably would have looked at trying to get some manufactured and sold them myself. But it's just because they literally make these perfect leads, they're exactly what I want. I'm just like, well, I'm pretty happy with that. Um, like yes, it is an idea. Like I just got the merch stuff there. I got a couple of silly shirts and things like that that people can buy. But again, that's for me. That's just overcomplicating it, right? Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
can do that, and yeah, talk about once it gets set up, you can it's passive income so to speak, and it's just like yeah, but I can't be bothered.
yeah. Yeah. Love
It's
it.
great. It's great having it's great having the extra money and stuff like that. But that's the goal is to be doing what I want and keep life simple, so I can
Yeah.
do the things that I want to do. What's the age old saying? You work to live, not live to work.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I
Yeah.
also like work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. So, what goods or services do you provide? So, we basically kind of covered that one there. So, the walking, all of that. And then this one as well. I think I might know the answer, but what is your greatest achievement since you've started?
Ah, there was this time that I walked 55 dogs at once,
Oh,
which
no.
was an unofficial world record. So yeah, that was probably my greatest achievement.
That is gangster. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. They were like, "Have you seen it? How do you do that?" I was like, I mean, I have seen it, but like, I don't know how he did it, but I have seen it."
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I don't know how I did it either. Could have done it better. Could have done it better. But look, at the end of the day, you know, the official world record was 36. I probably could have just gone and tried to do like 38 or 40 or something like that, and done that quite easily and got the official record. But I sort of went balls deep and went for well originally I actually planned there was meant to be I was going double. There was meant to be 72 dogs showing up, but
Jeez.
I had 20 odd dogs didn't show up, so we started with 57 and I dropped two because they got tangled up, and we went to 50. We finished with 55, and that was pretty much the reason why it wasn't an official record.
Yeah,
But at the
yeah.
end of the day, this is the way I see it. People are like, oh, you're going to go and do the official record? And I say, look, first of all, when was the last time you picked up a Guinness book to find out a world record? Right? Fuck, it hasn't been 10 years.
Yeah, God,
You
yeah.
Google world record dog walk, and it comes up, first thing it comes up and says, 36 dogs, a woman in Brisbane, blah, 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 blah. There's no picture. Next one,
Yeah.
Aussie bloke Ryan Pomeroy walks 55 dogs, and there's a picture of me. Now,
That's awesome.
Now,
That's awesome.
you're going to be like, okay, Guinness recognised 36, bloke walks 55
With the photo.
with a photo, and in
With
that
the
particular
photo.
yeah, with the photo, and in that particular circumstance, I would just like to say Guinness fucking who.
Yeah, I mean that's actually so funny you say that. I don't think my mum used to get them for me for Christmas all the time. I don't think I've got one since like 2015 or something. If
Yeah,
if that, let alone actually reading it.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's golden. All right, well, you're quite knowledgeable on behavior, walking, all of this type of stuff. But is there anything else that you do away from the business?
Like in terms of education, or
Can you still
uh,
hear me? Because the little
yeah, I can
prompt
still
came
hear.
up.
Yeah,
I
I can
should.
still hear.
Is the video still there?
Just the video is still there.
I'm just gonna keep this on my screen and see how long this goes. It comes up with the refresh now thing. But just you as a person, is there anything else you do away from this? Like, do you have a little side hobby? Do you just, gaming,
Um,
designing, anything?
Yeah, yeah. So like, I love to game. I'll admit I do really enjoy gaming. I enjoy it so much that I know, like, I won't buy a game, like when I won't buy a game a month, everything like that. Like I buy a game like every 3 years because I know when I buy it, that will consume my life for a couple of months, and every minute, every waking minute, will that be it? So I don't buy them very. I love gaming. So I know that I ride motorbikes. I do spend plenty of time with my dogs. I'm a bit of a foodie. I'm a bit of a nerd. Love my movies.
Yeah, I like that.
I like to read. I like to read. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll
Just
probably
all the
drink.
fun stuff.
Yeah, all the fun stuff. Probably drink a bit too much piss, but that's just an Australian thing, eh?
Yeah, I think we're made for it, so it's perfectly all right. Totally
Yeah.
understandable.
Me sitting here drinking tea out of a Vader mug. Yeah, I'm a pisshead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I have that mug, but no, it's just a pop plant I have of Darth Vader. Close, close. But I do have an R2D2 one, and that is my pride and joy.
Love it. Love it.
All right, this is probably, I ask everybody, but this is so self-explanatory for the person that is sitting here with me today. Tell me about your pets and how influential they are to you being you.
Well, yeah, obviously I named the business after Luna. She was the catalyst of me starting the business. She's actually the reason that the business took off so quickly, because, she leads from the front. When it comes to the dogs, when we're walking the packs, if I've got scared, nervous dogs, she's just there. She's just the cool head at the front of the pack, and all the other dogs that get a bit nervous and scared and riled up, they just look at this cool dog walking in front of them, and they're just like, why isn't she worried about everything that's going on? Maybe there's nothing to worry about, all right? And she's like, honestly, the business wouldn't be what it was without that dog. And that's what it is. She's getting a bit old now. She's 8. She's got a bit of sciatica. She's that's why I got old Knucklehead over there, Morna. She's 1 now, so she's gonna be the replacement.
Yeah.
She's as thick as pig shit. So let's just hope she grows up a bit before Luna has to retire.
Oh, that's golden. That's golden. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we jump into the game time? Anything you want to expand on, tell about with all the business? Any personal things about just life itself, or?
Oh, look, I suppose not really. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, like I spent 15 years in road construction doing a job that, like I enjoyed, but I didn't. And it was just one of those things, like, not in a million years would I have thought that I could have, branched out and started my own business, let alone doing something that, like, it's funny when I say, people go, what do you do for a living? I go, I'm a dog walker. And they look at you like, fucking dog walker? Like, that's a job for teenage girls. And I'm like, yeah, mate, you should see the dogs I'm walking, right? Yeah. So, it's, and you just do it, and there's so many things that stop people from doing what they want to do, and the first one is judgment, right? That's a big one, right? People won't do a thing. They're like, oh, because I was earning the big bucks working construction, like fucking yeah. And then I started my own dog walking business, and people are just like, dog walker, whatever. Yeah. And man, I could be happier. Couldn't be happier, And it's just one of them things. If again, it's so cliche. If you dream to do it, if you love it, it'll fucking happen. But it will, you know what I mean? If you work hard enough at it, Yeah, and the thing is, too, golden. You don't have to work that hard, right? Like, you do, but you don't. It's not any harder than you're fucking working right now.
I love that. You literally just walk for a prolonged period of time. Do you only do 1 hour walks with the pack walks?
Yeah, 1 hour walk. So I do. So basically, if I've got a full booking, like I only walk 4 days a week, right? So I can do a little bit of paperwork on Friday. But a normal week looks like I get up about 6, or I'll get up whatever time. I leave here at 6:30. Start picking the dogs up at 6:30. I do a early morning walk. And in winter it's a bit cold. In summer, perfect time. And then drop those dogs off, and then I pick up the next lot, do a walk. That's usually around about 10:30. And then drop those dogs off, and I'm done by like 1:30, at the latest, at the absolute latest. And then I have I'll have a training client at 2 and another training client at 4. And then like it's a big day. If I get full bookings, which I do have at the moment, it's a pretty big day. But it's like I said, I'm only doing 4 days a week. And then I can do a little paperwork on Friday, and that's the gig. And
yeah, that's golden.
Yeah, I don't want to push myself. Like I could definitely. There's so many. I could definitely work 5 days a week, or I could, like you said, I could sell leads, or to fucking get into fucking all this other shit. But I don't want to. Right?
Yeah,
I got plenty of time off, and I'm enjoying life.
Yeah, well, the golden rule is just be happy. Like, if
Yeah.
you're happy, be happy. Some people
Yeah.
are happy if they make millions. Others are just content and happy if they're just chilling.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I said to one of my cousin's friends, he's like super hard worker, like always just fingers in all these pies, he's all about money, money, money. And he's like, oh, you could do this, you could do this, this is great. And I'm like, yeah, man, but like, like and I heard someone, I don't know, this isn't my original quote, right? But I hit him with it. And it was like, yeah, but I've got something that you'll never have, man. And he's like, what's that? I said, enough.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he was just like, someone else said that, right? That's not my
Yeah,
quote.
yeah.
I didn't come up with that. I'm not that cool, but I remembered it. And I was like, yeah, I got enough. And he was like,
Ha.
he had nothing. So
Yeah, that's rough. Well, we've got some comments here talking about your Star Wars mug. Someone was like, we called our son Anakin, hashtag Star Wars fan, which that is legendary. I
that's
love
awesome.
that. And then,
And for those people's sake, I hope he turns to the dark side around 1920.
just for the sole purpose of living the name out properly.
It's like, what happened to your son? Well, we named him Anakin, and then he stormed a temple with a heap of kids.
Oh, just stop you at Anakin. Just stop you at Anakin. Understandable. No need to go any further. Then we had this is another one of our local dog walkers. His name's Rocco. He runs Jim's Pet Patrol. He's like, dog walkers rule. I was like, yeah, I know, we're not too bad. We go all right. And then and then my old mother, two legends. See, that'd be a compliment if I didn't come out of her.
It's like, thanks, Mum, but you sort of have to say that.
Yeah. I'll take it nonetheless, but And then Rocco once again, he's like, fuck yeah, I like this guy. I was like, yeah, he's not too bad. He goes all right.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right, we'll jump into the little game time. And I mean, I don't even know if I can call it game time at this point, but it kind of is in a way. But what is one thing you would personally tell like dog owners when they buy a new dog? So what's like the first thing that you'd cover? Just be like, fuck this.
Don't go to the dog park ever.
Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
Number one. Don't go to the dog park ever. Right? That's the first. Like, that's the absolute number one. Don't go to the dog park ever. Hand feed your puppy. Hand feed your puppy. Get it doing stuff, working for its food every day. That's the number one. If you spend 15 minutes with your dog every day telling it to sit, stay, here's a little piece of your food, you do that for 15 minutes, you're getting repetitions in, your dog's learning, you're building a relationship.
Boom.
Those are the two number things. Don't go to the dog park, hand feed your dog.
Yeah, we've got a lot of dog parks down here, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, look,
Not
they're great when there's no one there. Like if you
Oh,
want, if you
beautiful,
haven't
yeah.
if you haven't trained recall and you want your dog to have a run around, it's great to have a fenced in area where you can take your dog and have a run around, have a smell. But I like to liken dogs to drunk teenage boys. Right? You put a whole bunch of them in a room, they're going to have fun until they don't. Right?
I've never heard that comparison, but that is actually so perfect.
Like it's like, what'd you say? And then next thing it's on. And you're paying a trainer thousands of dollars to fix that fear reactivity that's created from a dogfight.
Yeah, I've never heard that comparison. I need to start using that.
Yeah, use that one. Write that down. Write that down.
Listen, Jax? Do you remember? Yeah, all right, he remembered. All right, now, this is interesting. Did you undergo certain training or study before starting anything you did for your business at all? Or are you just kind of like genius?
Yeah, no. I'm it's not how I learn, right? Like I was good at school, but like I don't study well, right? So if I was forced, like if the government came out and said, dog trainers have to be accredited, I would do the course if I had to. I would slug my way through the course. I would probably learn a little bit, but not much because it's not how I learn, right? I learn doing stuff. I learned, when I had my own dogs, doing my own research, finding stuff, like reading lots of different things, just reading and finding stuff out myself. And then through that, like I'll be like, oh, my dogs have this problem, but I'll read about all of the problems and then read about solutions and stuff like that. So that's sort of how I did. And like I said, I actually didn't really plan on being a dog trainer. It was just a pet care business. And
Yeah.
people sort of, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? And then I turned out to have a bit of affinity for it. And, I don't, I know there is great value in some of the courses, like the National Dog Training Federation course. I think that's the best one in Australia to do. But like it's fucking 3 grand or something, and it's like, am I gonna, spend 3 grand and not benefit that much just so I have a little piece of paper? I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm out there working with dogs every day. Well, 4 days a week, and not every day. Um, and I've also got some great mentors that I've met through social media, that I
Yeah.
can bounce ideas off and troubleshoot and stuff like that. So that's fantastic. Um, yeah, so basically no formal qualifications whatsoever.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I like how people are like, you have to study to do that. You have to study to do that. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, is not a certified like anything to do with
Yeah,
space. Like
yeah,
he doesn't have his like I don't know exactly what certificate you need, but like the aerospace stuff, any like
yeah.
rocket science stuff. Like I'm pretty sure he did do engineering, but not like successfully.
But it's
So
but
it's
it's
like,
it depends on how you learn. Like everyone learns different, right? I learn by plunging my hands in the mud and doing it, right? Like I can read a book and be like, oh, okay, cool. But then I have to do it, right? I have to be doing it. And like I'm not out there doing things with dogs that are gonna, like ruin a relationship or anything like that. Like I'm not being like, oh, I'll fucking try this out.
yeah.
Because, like that's a stupid thing to do. Like I do try things out, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to try ripping this dog's head off and see if it'll stop it from barking, because that's a shitty thing to do, right? Yet, you work your way through, and if you are going to sort of push the boundaries, you make sure you have the go ahead from someone who has been doing it for fucking, 20 years or whatever, has got that experience. And
Yeah.
that's sort of, yeah, that's sort of how I've done it. But
Yeah.
some people learn, some people can pick up a book
And then just
and
bang
fuck
bang
it and do
bang.
bang bang bang, right? Like, I
Yeah.
learned to ride a motorbike with gears from fucking YouTube, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Oh, that's golden. How did you figure out that everything was like applicable like before? Like you ever actually were like, okay, now I'm gonna do this. Like, did you try it on your dogs or it just started working when you did it or like
Well, yeah, it's always just like, with my dogs, I've always, like there was stuff that I'd always done with my dogs that, like, I just done it to make my life easier. And I didn't realize until I started looking into it that, like, that's just a really common thing that you do. You train with dogs, right? For instance, the bed, right? The place command. If you want to manage your dog in your house, that's like the most valuable thing to do. If you can teach your dog to sit on its bed and fucking stay there, doesn't matter what's going on in the house, the dogs will stay there. And that was something I always have with my dogs. Loose lead walking, obviously super important. Like I cannot comprehend going for a walk and getting dragged around by your dogs. I can't comprehend it. I cannot. I just so it was always. It's just like, yeah, got to make sure I figure out how to make my life easier, right? Like I want to be able to clip my dogs onto my belt, and walk down the street and catch Pokemon on Pokemon Go. And fucking, I don't want to be having to hold on to the lead while I'm doing that. So,
yeah.
it's that sort of stuff. And then as you find out, it's like, oh, okay, well, and the thing is, what I've actually discovered as well, even with behavior modification, like that less so, but with the dog training, all dog training is just the basics polished,
Mm,
right? That's
mm,
it, right? Like, that's it. Like, like my dogs don't know tricks. Like, my dogs
yeah.
don't know fucking tricks. There's dog trainers who are like, oh, I got fucking dogs do all this fucking cool shit. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. I
Like
said I can tell my dog to
nuts.
sit, stay, and I can come back in an hour, and she won't have moved. Right? Like fucking, that's to me that's a trick, a
Yeah.
functional trick. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. It's just that, and then once, yeah, you just you get people and they go, oh, I need to stop my dog from jumping. I need to stop my dog from doing this. I'm like, yep, sweet. On your bed. The dog can't jump on someone if it's fucking on its bed. Right?
That's
So
awesome. I
someone
like
comes in
that.
the front door on your bed.
I like
Ah,
that. I like that.
it's like this is household management right here. This is the number one thing you have to do. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. It's just like it really is like it's like I teach 5 things when it comes to dog training. Like, and
Oh,
that's
true.
it. Like it's on your bed. Obviously sit, stay, loose leash walking, recall. That's it.
I mean, it
And you
seems
can
like the
use
basics.
yeah, and the thing, and that's what it is. It is basics. But if you have those basics polished in any situation, in any situation, you can use those 5 commands to manage the situation perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that does make sense. Like fear reactivity or being out and about and reactive in general, just like a sit stay. I'm assuming is that what you aim for?
Yeah, look, sometimes the thing is, like, for some dogs, yes. For some dogs, movement is better, right? So, like, there's some dogs that are like on the lead, bouncing around. They say reactivity, whatever it is, and you tell them to sit, stay, and they're just sitting there trembling. They've got the energy needs to go somewhere, right? So, for some dogs, actually, for most dogs, I've found you're better off, giving it as wide as berth as possible to keep the dog under threshold, but walk faster. Don't give the dog the chance to carry on. Just walk faster. Just basically, don't worry about what you're doing. We're going. Right? That's if you get to a point where the dog's over threshold. The whole goal is to use distance and keep the dog under threshold. If you're 100 meters away and you've got a reactive dog and it's at another dog, it's not going to be reactive. But if you get 60 meters away, it might be starting to zero in. And by the time you get to 30 or 20 meters away, the dog's losing its fucking mind. So you find that sweet spot where the dog's looking at that dog, but also willing to look back at you and take food.
That's mad.
If the dog won't take food, it's over threshold and you need to increase the distance. And then once you get the dog taking food, right, you can move a little bit closer, take more food, move a little bit closer, take more food, move a little bit closer, dog's not taking food, move back again, take food. And you just in, out, 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 until finally you walk past that dog and the dog goes, hey, we just walked past that fucking dog and nothing happened. That was awesome. And you're like, yep, that's a win. Now let's do that 1,000 times.
That is awesome. And this is coming from the guy who's not accredited.
No accreditation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, that's all. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Speechless. Like, that is totally understandable. As somebody just said in the chat, they were like, "It's at the end of the day, it's just common sense," and it's like, in a way, yeah, like,
yeah, it is.
It's common sense with just a couple more steps.
But the thing is, too, like, when you explain things to people, you would think that it's common sense when you know. But like a simple thing, like, say, I'm not sure what Bathurst is like, but here on the Gold Coast, there's a fucking 1,000 dog daycares, right? And the thing is, there's like 2 dog daycares that not that I'd ever leave my dog at a dog daycare, but if I had to, there's like 2 here that I would, because they cause a lot of issues. There can be fights just like they can be down at the dog park, at least they're supervised and all that sort of stuff. But like, someone will be like, oh, my dog goes to dog daycare 5 days a week, and then on the weekends when we take it for a walk, it sees a dog and loses its mind. And I'm like, yeah, because you've given your dog heroin, it's addicted to other dogs, and so literally you've gone, here's all of the drugs you want, here's all of your addiction 5 days a week, and then on weekend you're going to be around it, but you're not allowed to have any.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say that too, yeah, with the doggy daycares and stuff, like just breaking training as well sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my dog doesn't listen to me around dogs anymore. I was like, yeah, because it goes and has so much fun without you. When it sees another dog, it knows that nothing that you can do can be as fun as that other dog. And it actually ruins your relationship.
All right, I'm going to have to timestamp this video. There's going to be a lot of TikToks made from this.
Like, my dogs don't generally play with other dogs. They play with each other. I'm always involved. There's a couple of dogs that, that I have a couple of regular clients that I look after for a little bit longer from time to time, and I'll allow them to play. But at the end of the day, if your dogs are having heaps of fun without you, and then you can't get the attention back off them, the dogs are discovering that you're not as fun as other dogs. So when you want them to listen to you, they're like, no, man, fuck you. You're boring. I'm going to play with this dog.
Yeah. See, mine will only go see, which is technically my other 2. I was living with my mother. We had 4 dogs, and then we both just took 2 each when I moved out. But we still go see them all the time. But those are the only ones where I'm just kind of like, yeah, day in, day out, like go, like they're your friends, like yada yada. Everything else you definitely got to keep an eye on just to still have that, as they would say, kind of alpha kind of mentality, if people want to call it that, alpha kind of thing, quote unquote.
But even it's even just letting them play. Like, if they've got 1 or 2 dog friends that they play with, that's great. Like, they don't need other dog friends. They don't need to meet other dogs when they're on for a walk, all of this other stuff. It's just, like, it's so funny. People go, "Oh, dogs are social animals. They're social animals." And I go, "Okay, cool. Let's just take that into consideration because they're not wolves. Dogs aren't wolves, and wolves aren't dogs. Dogs aren't people, and people aren't dogs. Well, some people are dogs. Um, so basically, I'm like, let's say they are social, right? Dogs are social. So the dogs are social. They've got their pack. They've got their little group, their little family, which is, you, your missus, your kids, your dogs, whatever. That's your group, right? And then you see another dog across the way. If the dog was like that social dog that you're talking about, like a wolf, right? That's the rival. What's the pack of wolves do when they see a rival? Let's fuck shit up, right? Let's fuck shit up. So we're gonna walk up to that dog, right? And then there's another thing, right? You name a circumstance on this planet where two predators walk in a straight line towards each other, right? And a fight doesn't happen. Nowhere in the wild does a predator walk straight towards another predator and not have a fight. Right? That's what they do. Look, and the thing is, oh no, Fluffy needs to meet every dog. No, Fluffy needs to ignore every dog, pay attention to you.
Is this where you think that kind of that alpha term came from? Because like it does come into packs, but like I'm a heavy believer, and it's not like an alpha thing. It's more of just kind of a wanting to be deep down, if that makes sense. Like
no, it's like the whole alpha thing. It's about leadership. So with dogs being alpha, like some dogs are just pricks, right? Just like some people, right? This is at the end of the day, right? Some dogs want to be alpha, and the thing is, right? So, like, obviously, alpha theory is being debunked because it was done with a whole bunch of wolves that went together that didn't know each other, and it was just, a whole bunch of people that didn't know, a whole bunch of wolves in a cage that didn't know each other. The biggest, strongest, meanest, ugliest one ate all the food and got in all the fights and won all the fights and got all the food, and they're like, oh, well, this is how wolves do. It's the pack of the alpha that gets all the shit. But the same guy who did that debunked the theory about alpha theory. Debunked the alpha theory, his own theory. He spent the rest of his life debunking that theory because he went and actually studied wolves in the wild. And it's not the biggest, meanest, the ugliest wolf that leads the pack. That's the alpha. It's the most intelligent, the one that makes the good decisions, the one that, because they're a family unit.
yeah,
They're a family unit that work together, right? So the thing is, with dogs, right, again, I'm going to go back to drunk teenage boys. Right, so we've got Luna. She's the most confident dog, right? So you put her in a room, right? I'm going to use my example of my dog. I'm a bias. She's a badass, right? But the thing is, she don't care. She don't give a shit about the other dogs, right? She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to stand in front of them. She doesn't want to get on top of them. She's just like, I'm going to do my own thing. She's like, if you come near me, I will kick your ass. Right? If you want to carry on, I will kick your ass. Right? And the thing is, it's the same thing, right? Drunk teenage boys, right? A whole bunch of drunk teenage boys. Who's going to start a fight? The bloke who's insecure with who he is and what he has going on in his life, or the bloke who's very happy, very comfortable, very content in who he is? Which one of those two is going to start a fight?
Oh, I'd say one.
The insecure bloke, right? The insecure bloke. And that's the same with dogs, right? So you've got a confident dog who's very happy who she is and her abilities to look after herself and everything like that, and other dogs that are trying to jump on other dogs and be all that other shit. They're insecure, fearful dogs that are trying to get it over each other so they don't have to be scared. Almost every aggressive dog, right? Almost, that's as a pet in people's households is aggressive because it is terrified. It's always fear aggression. It's always fear aggression. Oh, my dog's aggressive. No, it's not. It's terrified.
Yeah.
Oh, my dog will protect me. Nope. It's terrified. My dog protects the property. No, it's scared that somebody might come in.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, I'm a badass. I'm a mother. It's literally like, roof, roof, roof. Fuck off. I'm going to be as big and as scary as I can so you don't come in here. Please don't come in here.
Yeah.
That's what dogs are really doing, right? They're insecure, they're fearful, and they're terrified of their surroundings, and they don't want anyone near them.
There's golden. There you go. See, these are meant to be educational, and I am really hoping people are getting every little drip out of this. So, anywho, we'll move on to something a little bit more less intense.
A little bit lighthearted. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, no, like I love it. That is literally everything that this whole podcast, you can kind of call it. I wouldn't really call it that, but it was meant to be about it's just education, teaching people, getting point of views, and just trying to like just learn really. So it's like perfect. I'm really hoping people are getting what I'm getting out of it. But how did you achieve that 55 dog record, my friend? Going back to that, like, how'd you get the dogs? Whose dogs were they? Did you have to prep? Like, what was the whole? Just how?
So most of them were existing clients. So yeah, the lion's share of them were existing clients. So when I started the business to get the clientele up, I was a lot cheaper than the other professional dog walkers on the coast, and that built up my clientele quite well. And also, I took on all of the dogs that no one else would walk, right? Yeah, people ring up, oh, can you walk my dog? You know, these guys won't walk it, these guys won't walk it, these guys won't walk it. I'm like, yep, I'll walk it. And then I'm walking a difficult dog in a pack of 10, just on a daily basis. And people are like, fuck. So most of them were my clients, right? I had quite a lot of, because I was so cheap, the clientele built up quite quickly. Then I had some other dog walkers and dog trainers here on the Gold Coast. Like I just rang them up and said, look, hey, look, I'm thinking about doing this. You will be able to come down and help on the day, maybe bring a couple of really well-behaved dogs, and it'll come down, And I got some friends to help me, and we hired a couple of vehicles, and done the pickup, and had some people drop them off, and then, I had a mate who's a surveyor. He went out and marked out the course, so it was exactly 1 kilometre. I picked out a spot, and we went for it. And my cousin dobbed me into the local news channel. So then that snowballed. So it was like I was on the local news, I was on the local radio station, and then I was on the Today Show and fucking all this other shit.
Jesus.
And it was like, yeah, it was all pretty full on. And then I did it, and we just went for it. And it was one of them things. Like looking back, everyone's got 20/20 vision in hindsight. It's like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done this. Probably could have organised it better. But at the end of the day, like I thrive in the moment.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's like, just run. Just everybody just get down there, and fucking when we're down there, I'm just barking orders.
Yeah.
And, just fucking, hey, you over here, bring that dog over here, fucking, and we just got it done. And, yeah, we went for it. So
That's golden. That's golden. A lot of people, since we announced that you were going to be on, and now they're still talking about it, they've said, are there photos and videos? Now, I refer them to your banner pic, but was there ever a video taken, any footage we can ever find?
Yeah. I got. Let's see if I can even bring it up on. Do a little relay.
Because there should be, in our live video right now for everybody watching, there should be a section where it has featured links, which will bring up, oh God, was that a little testy pop? There will be a little links that should bring up his Instagram, and then you can go find everything he does from there. But, oh, there you go.
It's not the best, but
Just full sending it. If you want to send that to me as well afterwards, I'm just going to like upload it and just be like,
yeah, man.
it's so gangster.
It was pretty funny. Like Channel 7 news were there, and they like the bit they put on the news, like because we're walking down there to like the finish line, and everyone's crowding the finish line, and I'm like, I told everyone, I'm like, back right up from the finish line, and then there's a couple of people with dogs, and I'm just like. People are like, get them dogs out of the way, get them dogs out of the way. And people are just standing there with their dogs. And I'm just like, get the fucking dogs out of the way! And that's the bit that they put on the fucking news, right? And they bleeped it out. So here's me, just the angriest motherfucker in the world. And there's like the comments on their like Facebook and Instagram, like, I'd never let that bloke walk my dogs, And I'm just like, thank you, Channel 7. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's golden. It looks like it's not just those viewers that you scared. Miss Mel here, she's like, my young boys just lost their shit, lol. Oh my God. Oh, man, that's golden. Yeah. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, I need a second. I could just picture that. Because I saw that photo that you put up the other day that I commented on, and you were like, ah! Yeah. And I just zoomed in on that little, I think it was a boxer or a staffy who was just like poking his head up, and he's like, yo, what's up? I was like, that is the most gangster photo. It's just like, rah. It's like, man's a Viking. You're just missing the little barb helmet.
Yeah, it was mad. It was mad. It was a good day. The thing is, it's funny. The worst thing about that day, right? Because I got up really early. I went around and picked up most of the dogs. One of my mates had a van. I had him driving the other van. We picked up all of these dogs, and then So, like, plenty of people came down and took their dogs home after I'd taken them there. So I just said to my mate, I said, look, you take that van home, I'll get the rest of the dogs in my van. And then I had to take my van around for the next like 4 hours, dropping all these dogs off, right? And all my mates that had came down to help me are all just canning on. And I'm just like, yeah, this is meant to be my day. This is meant to be my day. Yous are all partying, and I'm still working. This is bullshit.
Literally does one of like the biggest dog walks known to man, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, cool, he did it." You're like, "But just still gotta take him home, bro."
Yeah.
Oh, they're just like those hype men that are just there for the hype. They're like, "Yeah, all right, cool, let's drink to this. Let's drink." Ryan, where are you? Have anybody seen Ryan? Just dropping
Yeah.
all the dogs home. Oh,
There,
dude,
there,
jeez.
there was there like I started seeing this girl not long before that. She actually had a dog walking business here on the
Oh,
Gold Coast,
man.
and I was seeing her for a little while, and like I rung her, I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just sitting down the river with your dad and your mate Mitch." They've never met, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "I was just having beers." I'm like, "Fucking awesome! That's a place I'd rather be right now." They'd never met. They'd never met, and they're just canning on down the river. You know, the Tweed River, beautiful place down at Chindra where I did it. You know, they're just in there drinking beers while I'm like, fucking.
Anybody want to trade a beer for dropping all these dogs home? Oh, that's legendary. All right, so I lied before. That was the personalized questions section, not personalized questions section. Yeah, that made sense. This is the game time here.
Okay.
Fun. So this one varies from guest to guest. So I'm going to run a couple of scenarios through you. This is for the behavior modification, and if you want to call it training, even though you're not an accredited trainer. But I'm going to run some scenarios through, and I want you to give us a brief little overview of what you would do to tackle that certain issue. Now, question one is something I am actually heavily intrigued upon because I myself don't know how to do this one, and I saw you talk about it in your live video a couple of days ago when we were talking about that motorbike thing you have.
Yep.
And so, how would you help adjust a cat and a dog who don't like each other? I saw you bring it up in there, and now I'm interested to know because you're like, I can train this to like this.
So like the easiest way to train two animals to like each other, right? This is going to sound silly. First of all, they have to be crate trained. Both of them have to be comfortable being in a crate with the door closed. Because the thing is, once you've done that, you can put them next to each other, and you can, create that positive association. And they're like, I'm close to this thing that I don't like, and nothing's bad happens. Because every time they have an incident, they have a reaction, they get into a scuffle, that just reinforces how much they don't like each other. So you've got to stop that happening. You've got to have them around each other. You've got to stop that from happening. Not only that, right? Dog on a lead, cat on a lead. And then you just create the positive association with those dogs, right? But the thing is also as well, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get to a point and you're gonna be like, oh, now I can just go down the shops and leave my dog or my cat in the house and it'd be fine. They might be fine while you're there, but the thing is, something could still happen. You still might never trust them and go down the shop if you've had dogs, two dogs that have had a fight, or a cat and a dog that have had a fight, and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to the shop, they'll be fine. You still keep them separated when you're not there. But it's about creating that positive association, doing fun things. Like if the dog's sitting there and going, I fucking hate that cat. I fucking hate it. But you're there with some food or some bacon or some cheese or some anything or a ball. The dog will be like, I hate that cat. You gonna throw that ball, butt? You gonna throw that ball? We're gonna play tug of war. We're gonna. And then the dog goes, I'm having fun. That thing's there that I don't like, but it's not affecting me adversely. And you create that positive association, and then the dog goes, I just spent an hour next to the cat doing shit that I enjoyed, and I didn't have an altercation with the cat. Cool. Maybe the cat's not so bad, right? But the thing is, like I said, there's no guarantee that you can. There's no guarantee that you can ever get them to 100% like each other again, right? Like I've got an older brother. You'll never get me and him in a room together, ever. No matter how much you try. So that's just one of those things. There's no guarantee, but the thing is, you can create things. You can get them to, but also you can graduate from the crate to the bed. And if your dog has a solid, hey man, stay the fuck on your bed command, or place, or mat, or on your bed, or whatever it is, then the cat can walk past, and the dog will be like, Man, I want to get off this bed and smash your face in. But I know I'm not allowed. And, that's about management. But in order to actually modify the behaviour, you've got to create that positive association. And you've got to do it slowly over time and keep it managed and make sure they don't have incidences. Because every time they have an incident, it just reaffirms that, yeah, I will fucking want to smash your face in. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to try one day to get my Staffy Cross and my mum's cat to be friends. But my Staffy, he's the nicest little dog you'll ever meet, my little guy. But he has been attacked by like 4 or 5 cats, and like not attacked. Like he was out the front doing a wee while I was checking the mail, and a cat literally ran down the tree and just right hooked him and ran off. And then I was like, "What a bitch!" And he's like barking in every direction, like, "What the?" And that's happened. Like jumps off a fence, punches him in the head. He's sitting out there eating a bone, punches him in the head. He's just had so many negative experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, my mum's cat. Oh, it's a. How many words am I allowed to say on here that are curse words in a row again? But she is a whole other breed. And like, I was like, you will be friends, but at the same time, this Staffy could literally just tear you in half, and he has a bad hatred for cats right now. So I'm like, look, it's better if we just, I won't go there at the moment if I don't need to.
But the thing is, so like even like if you are gonna like even before you get to the behavior modification stage, right? You have to have really good obedience, right? Because let's say that you haven't got good obedience. Like if my dog and my cat didn't get along and my cat ran across the room, or it even happens now, right? Because sometimes Morna's only one, and like the cat will get speaking of the cat now, right? We get crackhead energy cat running around the place in the middle of the night, and she'll be like, I'm going to go play with a cat. And it's like, no, you're a 35-kilo dog in an apartment. You're not going to run around like that tiny little cat is. I'm not having it. So when she starts getting excited and starting chasing around the cat, I can go, on your bed. Now, the thing is, if that command is good enough, see, crackheads. So if the command is good enough, whether the dog is trying to do it out of fun, out of fear, out of aggression, or whatever it may be, if that command is good enough, if that on your bed command has been taught and programmed properly, it doesn't matter what the dog's intent is. You're supervising it, and you go, "Oi, stop on your bed," and the dog's like, "Yeah, all right. I was going to try and bite that cat in half, but all right, I'll go to my bed. I'll do as I'm told." Right? And that's the thing, if that obedience is down pat, then they're the tools that you can use to help to help manage and change.
Yeah, so before we get into any others there, that's just a quick question I'm going to slip in here. So you mentioned earlier, like the sit, stay, or place, whatever you want to call it, those kind of like 5 fundamentals that you do. Would you recommend that before going for anything crazy, like making a dog a friend with a guinea pig, a cat, doing all of this, that you focus on those first 5, first? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if the dog can't do, and that's essentially like that's through around distractions as well. So like the thing is, if you can't get your dog's attention away from the cat, right? There, and you're trying to introduce the cat, then that's not going to happen. Like if you can't go, "Hey, look at me, don't worry about the cat," the dog will be, and it's like, "No, I'm going to stare at this cat." If you can't divert their attention, if you can't get them to do something else, recall them away or anything like that, you can't. There's no management there. You know what I mean? But also, you can't get their attention in order to give them the piece of food or play with the tug toy or whatever it may be, in order to start the positive association process, because they're too focused on the thing that they either want to kill, eat, play with, or whatever it may be. And there's the thing too, like some dogs don't know their size, and they'll go and play with a cat, barrel it, and then the cat will, jump up with murder mittens, and then the dog will be like, "Well, I didn't like that." Next thing you know, bite. Yeah, that's it, and we've got a scuffle.
Yeah.
So yeah, obedience is key, right? Obedience is the best. If you don't have a baseline strong obedience, you can't really do anything decent with your dog.
Yeah, I saw this. What's his name? He's on TikTok. He's an American one. He's Canine something. I forgot his name, but he did this TikTok, which I thought was one of the most gangster things I've ever witnessed in my life. And he's just walking down the street with his shepherd, and he had a retriever mix, I believe. and he's just gone, like, looking in the camera. He's like, all right, sit, without looking, and they've sat. And he's like, all right, wait there. Now, look, the main key, and he starts talking, and the dogs are, like, miles behind him as he just keeps walking down the street. And he was just, like, talking about it all. And I was like, that's just gangster. Like,
I forget his username, but I remember that video. His name's Darren. I forget. Yeah, I know the guy. Yeah, like, sort of probably, late 30s. Yeah, I know the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, that
I know
was
the
one
exact
of the
video.
coolest videos. Yeah, that was so cool. I was like, that is just mean. So yeah, that would probably cover another one of these too, which we kind of covered before, but it's like reactivity on a lead, but not just kind of like barking, but like jumping this way, running this way, want to go sniff that, those type of situations, which was the third one I was going to ask. I'm assuming that'd be the same kind of process to cover it, just the obedience in a way.
Yeah, so that's 100%. So it's the same thing. It's the obedience, right? So with loose leash walking, right? First of all, everyone makes the mistake. Like, if you've got any kind of reactivity on a lead or any issue pulling towards doing anything on the lead that you don't want, right? First of all, you stop walking your dog, right? Dogs learn through repetition. Every time you walk your dog, it's continuing to learn to do the wrong thing. So we just stop walking, right? We're not going to walk the dog anymore. It's reactive. It's pulling you down the street. Stop walking, right? The problem is too, everyone wants to walk. Everyone wants to throw a dog on their lead and teach the dog how to walk on a lead. Where? In the fucking street where all the distractions are. Now, imagine this. You're going to take a kid, about 12 years old, maybe 10. We've got a 10-year-old kid. You're going to take him to Disneyland. And then you're going to sit him down and go, I need you to do your homework right now. How do you reckon they go?
But Mum, the roller coaster.
Yeah, they're going to be looking around going, fuck the homework. I want to do all this shit.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing with your dog. You're taking it out to the most interesting place in the world and you're trying to teach them something. And they're like, no, fuck you. I want to smell this. I want to do this. I want to run chase that bird. I want to do all that shit. So it's moronic, right? So you remove all the distractions. You put your dog on a lead and you walk it around the coffee table and around the dining table. Because there's nothing here. There's nothing interesting here. There's no distractions. So you teach them, this is where I want you to walk. Right next to me. Loose lead. And then you might have something interesting in the house, right? A friend might come in, and you'll walk past that friend. You'll get just close enough so the dog can't get to them. So they'll walk out to the end of the lead will go tight, and you just stand there. They can't get to that person. The person's ignoring them. They get to the end of that tight lead. You just stand there. You wait, and then the dog will release the tension on the lead and start walking back towards you. Yes, here's your piece of food. And the dog goes, tight lead, uncomfortable, come back, walk next to you. Loose lead, not uncomfortable, get food. I know which one I'm going to do, right? And then over time, you increase those distractions until you can walk out the front yard, right? And if you're walking down the street and your dog pulls towards that power pole because it's going to smell like the best thing in the world, right? You just don't let them, right? Their dogs are allowed to smell, but the thing is, if they're going to pull towards it, they don't get it. Right? If they start pulling towards it, you just stop. You wait for them to loosen the lead. If they don't want to loosen the lead, you turn around and walk home.
Yeah, I've heard that tactic.
Right.
They called it like the stand still stop or something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're not going to walk out in front of me. You're not going to pull in. And the key with this is, right, you never let them pull anywhere. So the thing is, you'll let them out of the car. You've just gone for a drive. You put your dog on a lead. You're walking from the street to your front gate. And your dog will be like, well, I know where we're going. I'm going to pull towards the gate. And everyone's like, fuck it. We're going that way anyway. The dog is learning that it can pull somewhere and get what it wants. If the dog understands that it gets to the end of the lead and it doesn't get where it wants to go, guess what it stops doing? It stops pulling. And that's it. It stops pulling. It'll just go, well, I'm not going to fucking pull anywhere. But then the thing is, it's also your responsibility to make sure you control your dog's enrichment, because sniffing is very important. So whilst, if you've got a good dog that's, walking on a lead where you want it to, and it will ignore power poles and trees and all that sort of stuff, it's your responsibility to stop close to that power pole and allow your dog to have a smell.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I read years ago when I first started this, people were saying when properly training your dog, only, like, they have to earn the urine or, like, the pee time, like, when you're walking, you're like, you want to smell? Here you go, stop, bang.
Like, when you first walk your dog, you let them have a smell. Like, like if I'm walking the dogs out of here, let's say I was doing the right thing and had them on a lead, I put them on a lead when I'm down a bit further, but anyway, I'll break the rules, whatever. Put them on a lead when I walk out the front. We go out. I would let the dogs smell, go to the toilet, and empty their bladders, right? I'm lucky enough I don't have boy dogs, because boy dogs are stupid. But if I had boy dogs, right, you allow them to empty their bladders and go to the toilet. And the thing is, if they just do a couple of squirts on the first tree, thinking they're going to squirt on every tree, they're in for a rude shock.
Yeah.
Because I'm not stopping and you're not doing a couple of squirts on every tree. That's not what we're doing. You empty your bladder. You're not marking, right? But you're not marking it. And don't get me wrong, you can do walks where you put your dog on a longer lead and just let them smell and let them do that. But the same principle applies. If they get to the end of that lead, they don't keep pulling you towards the tree. That's it. They get to the end of the lead and they go, oh, that's the limit. Turn around and go back.
We had somebody... Oh, yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, it's just one of those things, like I said, it's dogs learn through repetition, and every time they pull, they learn that they can, right? And the thing is, as much as we like to think our dogs that love us, and they want to do the things that make us happy, it's absolute bullshit, right? Dogs are hedonists, right? Which is, they are pleasure-seeking animals. They want to smell that because it makes them feel good, so they will try and smell that. It's that simple, right? They're going to try and do it because it makes them feel good. So they will just pull towards that thing, irregard of what you want them to do, unless you train them to do it otherwise.
Yeah, somebody asked in here, once a dog is trained, do you recommend to keep training the learned behaviour? Like, keep positively rewarding the trained behaviour, if that made sense.
Yeah, 100%. So the thing is, once you've taught something, you have to maintain it, because it's like anything, right? If I do push-ups every night and get to a point where I can do 100 push-ups, right? And then stop doing push-ups altogether. Am I going to be able to do 100 push-ups in 6 months after not doing any push-ups? No. Right? Now, the thing is, even now, I've got an 8-year-old dog, right? This is a saying that I've sort of, it's a number that, a lot of us have come up with, right? You can stop training your dog if you've trained it from puppy to 7 years old. Then you can stop training your dog. 7 years. I genuinely mean that, right? 7 years of training your dog every day. But the thing is, once you've trained the dog, like, it might be intensive, and then over time, you figure out ways to just incorporate the training into everything that you do, right? You don't have to be always like, "God, train the dog, God, train the dog." You're doing it as you go, right? Oh yeah, can't, gotta blah blah blah. You do it as you go, and when you find out how to just incorporate the training into the interaction with your dog, like, it's funny. I don't train my dogs how I teach people to train their dogs.
Yeah,
I don't train my dogs, right? Because the thing is, I spend enough time with my dogs, and training them and them learning is at the forefront of my mind at all times. I know that every interaction I have with my dogs, they are learning something, and because I love my dogs and I spend a lot of time with them, I know that I'm always teaching them something. But I don't spend time, I've got to train my dog, sit, stay, sit, walk, I'm not doing any of that shit, right? I'm just always with them, always doing stuff, yes, no, fucking, maybe, fucking repeat the question, the whole lot, right? And that's, like, I can't teach that to other people because it's too, like, no one's that invested in their dog as I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people need to go, okay, you need to set aside this amount of time to spend training your dog, while you're walking your dog. And that's the thing. It's not, I have to play with my dog for half an hour. I have to train it for half an hour. I have to take it for an hour walk. No. You go for a walk, and feed it, right? So you can go for a walk. While you're walking it, you can train it. While you're training it, you can play with it. And while you're doing all those three things, you can be feeding it.
Yeah, because I remember when you did your Instagram live video, that same one we were talking about before, you're literally sitting there wasting time and you just got food and you're like, Luna, out? All right, now come here. Here you go. And you're just talking to people. Just literally wasting time by just being like, all right, dogs, go over there. Yeah. All right, dogs, come here. All right, dogs, go over there. And I was like, you're literally just doing your thing. And it's just incorporating it into your lifestyle. Like, that's it, yeah, what I've done as well. Like, I am literally exactly like you, except I work 5 days a week, like Monday to Friday. So I just literally kind of the same process, except I probably don't drink as much. But same process.
What are you trying to say?
I'm a good boy. I'm a little Christian boy. All right, well, we're a little bit over, but that doesn't really matter at all. The next one I wanted to kind of cover, kitty cat. Yeah, before we get into that, did you see the description that I had for the video when I was advertising it?
Yes, but I forget what it was.
Yeah, no, just right at the end, it was like where he was showcasing his dogs, and then in like quotes, I was like, "and cat,"
A cat.
and the cat. But yeah, okay. Last one, we'll just quickly smash over. What would you do in this situation where you got like I don't know if it'd be classed as reactivity, kinda, but like, dog barks and someone comes in the door, dog barks at someone who walks past the window, dog barks at the fence line. What would you do to kind of dull that down and try to stop it?
So dog, first of all, you remove access to the thing, right? So the thing is, if your dog's in the front yard and it barks at everything that goes past, right? It's fair enough. You can sit out there for however long a day and get the dog doing other things. Like the moment it sees someone, you can call it back to them and reward them for ignoring the person and not bark. That's all well and good. But the thing is, then when you go to work, what's the dog doing? It's rehearsing that behavior that you don't want it to do all day. Dogs learn through repetitions. So we remove the dog's access to the fence, right? First of all, put it in the back fucking yard. Put it inside in the fucking crate. Right, whatever it is that, however it is that what you can do to manage that dog, so it doesn't have access to that thing, it doesn't have access to the window, the fence, right? That's what you do, and it doesn't rehearse that behavior. And then, when you are there, you spend time out there, and you get the dog not reacting. Right, it sees someone, and because you've got all that baseline of obedience that I said, you're sitting outside, drinking your cordial, and you see. Your dog spots someone, and the dog's like, "Oh, I'm on here," and you're like, "Hoi, Fluffy, here," and the dog goes, "Oh, yeah, righto," and it runs back to you, and then you go, "Oi, sit, stay, relax." No reaction.
Yeah.
What are you doing, old girl?
Have you I'm assuming you have. Have you heard of the Say It Once dog trainer, like dog?
Yeah,
training?
Vinny. Yeah, me and Vinny are friends on Facebook.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, no, he's a legend.
Yeah.
I was watching it literally this morning where he was talking about the door one specifically, and he was like the place, which is exactly what you said, like the
House
obedience.
management, 100%.
Yeah,
So the thing is,
yeah.
like, oh, my dog jumps on people, my dog barks at people when it comes in the door, it's reactive. All right, sweet. Luna, come here. Oi, on your bed. I know you want to go outside. Oi!
She's like,
Right?
oh, fine.
She's like, don't get me wrong, I don't afford, like, because she's just that dog. She's not a snappy command. I haven't told her to snappy command. She's like, fucking right.
Oh, fine.
Go sleep.
She's like, oh.
So, but the thing is, right, so if it was Knucklehead over there, she's in the crate, this isn't wireless, I'd go over and get her, but I can't be bothered. So yeah, if someone come in and, the dogs are bouncing, if you have this command in place and you've done the repetitions, the thing is, the dog walks in the house and the dog goes, as much as I want to go and bounce and be a ball of energy, this is the thing that I've been programmed to do.
Yeah.
Sit on the bed, ignore the world, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you teach them to do. And the dog just goes, ah. And then when their energy is down, right, then they can say hello to the guest in a nice, calm, relaxed manner. Yeah. Right? And the thing is, like, prevention's obviously better than cure, right? So again, I've got a 12-month-old, well, she's probably 14 months old now, Rhodesian Ridgeback there. She doesn't get excited when people walk in the house, right? Because for the first 6 months I had her, no one touched that dog. No one walked in my house and went, "Oh my God, look at the puppy dog!" Right? So she didn't get all excited. Now someone will walk in the house and she's like, "Someone's here." That's it. That's
person.
Yeah, this is a person here. She's like, "I don't care," because the thing is, she hasn't had all of this excess affection from strangers, so she doesn't get excited when she sees strangers or people that come in the door. She's just like, "Oh, I don't care." She gets all of the good shit from me, so she's just like, whatever. And the thing is, if you teach that, right, you never have to teach a dog not to jump on something, because you've just taught them that. Well, the thing is, it's like if you never have your first beer, you're not going to get addicted to alcohol, right? So the thing is, if she's never jumped on some person and got a whole bunch of fucking overloaded energy and got all this affection, she's not going to be like, "Oh, that's a good thing, I like it." So I've never allowed it to happen. If your dog never chases a bird, it's not going to understand that chasing birds is fun.
Yeah, I like it. See, a lot of people oversimplify it a lot of the time. They'll be like, you have to do this, so you have to do that, you have to do that. But you can keep it just short, plain, and sweet. It's really, I try to tell people a lot of the time as well. It's like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, just build a habit, bro. Like, just do something all the time. All the time. And then they pick up on it. Like, they are smart animals, incredibly smart animals. And they know how to do a lot. My dog, for so long, though, he got confused with quiet and speak. So he'd like do it opposite. So he'd be like, because he'd bark and I'd say quiet and then he'd shush and then I'd pat him. And then he would I wouldn't give him the reward yet because I would wait until this whole process. But then he started getting confused and like switched it. So he was like quiet, he'd bark. And then I realized it's because I gave him a pat. So I was like this whole big thing. So I'd be like, all right, quiet. And he's like, no. And I'm like, speak. And he's like, all right, shush.
And
that's like, dude, wait.
That is one of the things where actually, like, the formal qualifications can help. Like, I have learnt this from other people and stuff like that. But, like, the sequence of events that you have to get right, you know, like if, like if you don't have a marker, like a yes or a clicker or something like that, when you teach your dog something, like if you train and recall, if the dog is 100 meters away and it turns and comes towards you, and then you reward it when it gets to you, but you haven't said yes, or 100 meters is too far, but 20 meters away, you haven't used a clicker or said yes, and it gets to you and you give it a piece of food. It doesn't understand that it is being rewarded from turning away from the dead bird that it was about to roll in, right? That was that good thing that it was about to do. So it doesn't understand that that's the thing. So the next time it'll be like, no, I'm going to do it. It thinks that it's just being rewarded for just being right here, so it might not come. Like the sequence of events, it's like, say the command, the dog does it, mark it, reward, and like even things like, with that command there, the place command, people will reward the dogs just sitting there. They're like, I really want to come off the bed. I really want to come off the bed. I really want to come off the bed. So what they do is they go, yes, and then they call the dog off the bed and they reward it over here. Where that can work, but the thing is you have to be able to teach it to stay there first. Because if the dog's just on the bed, super eager to come off the bed, it's never going to get into this state and be able to relax. It's always just going to be like, I want the reward when I jump off the bed. I want the reward when I jump off the bed. So you got to know exactly when you're rewarding and what you're rewarding and stuff like that. So
yeah. They have like basic and then like advanced and all that stuff. It gets the heebie-jeebie stuff. I think advanced is probably more like just like the aggressive dogs, like making a dog like not want to kill people and do really cool stuff. Like, that goes far. I think the behavior modification kind of one, as we would put it, that's a little bit more day to day. Yeah, day to day, we'll say.
Yeah, but like obedience is like, so it's like, sort of, you got the obedience and then you got advanced obedience, and then all of that sort of stuff and getting to dogs to all the crazy shit. And then, but yeah, like it's all, like your behavior mod is trying to change the dog's perception of something. It's like, if it doesn't like cats or it doesn't like dogs or it doesn't like, it's, if it's aggressive or fearful or fucking whatever it may be, you're trying to modify the behavior that it's doing. And that's definitely the more difficult thing. Like training a dog to do something is relatively easy, but if it's scared of something or or it has, or it's just a dog, like people go, oh, that dog, it's a bad dog, and I'm like, why? It's like, oh, well, it just fucking loves to chase birds and squirrels and kangaroos and stuff, and I'm like, so it's a dog being a dog. It's a predator, right? It has prey drive. That doesn't make it a bad it doesn't make it a bad dog. That just makes it a dog. And the thing is, you've got to train the dog with obedience and modify behaviour so it doesn't want to do those things.
Yeah, see,
or
like
you find a good outlet. No, or you find it a really good outlet, and also, but again, you've got to have the obedience, and the dog needs to know when it's doing the thing that it really enjoys and when it's not.
Yeah, see, I've got a Labradoodle cattle dog, weirdest mix in my whole entire life, and people think that our little just owner-pet relationship is just weird because he just chooses me and he doesn't like anyone else. And I had to try to explain, I'm like, dude, he's a Labradoodle cattle dog. Like, he gets up, he wants to run, he sits back down, he loves his person, doesn't like other people. It's simply like, he's a Labradoodle cattle dog. Like, you of all people would understand, like, those certain breeds put together, it's like so much characteristics. But he was so very easy to train as well, and he just kicks back and does his thing. But like, if you put me in a room with like 100 other people, and we're like, "All right, Jax, come over here," he'd be like, "Nah, dude, I'm just chilling with this guy. Like, this is my bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kicking back with him." And then
But
people hate him.
But the thing is, that's the goal, right? The thing
Yeah,
is, the
yeah.
goal is to have your dog ignore the world and think that you're awesome and just want to spend time with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
All I had to do was get a
She
cool
don't
grade.
she don't like other dogs, right? Like she'll tolerate other dogs, but she don't play with other dogs. She's played with four dogs her whole life. She's actually played
Yeah,
with,
wow.
right? That dog, my cousin Staffy, my two old Staffies, right? She don't play with any other dogs. She'll be around other dogs, and she's just like, I want to play with dogs. I just want to go over here and do this thing. I just want to be with him, right? And like
Yeah.
people will come and pat her. When people come to my house and pat that dog, she's looking at me. She's like, I'll allow the pat, but
Did we all good?
can I come over there and get pat by you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the relationship you want with a dog. Because if you're your dog's center of the universe, right? It's really easy to train them because they're just
Oh,
like,
God,
let's
yeah.
do what you want to do. Let's do what you want to do. Let's go where you want to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It keeps it so easy. You should see my mum's house. Oh my god, it's like so funny whenever I go there and I guess train plus just spend time because they have the cat, my little toy cavoodle, and her Schnauzer Maltese, and it's just
Yeah.
the funniest thing. Like the Schnauzer Maltese, he's just like, nah, dude. Like you sit me down on that blanket, you give me a little bit of food and chuck on some Stranger Things. We chillin', man. We good. I don't want to do anything else. But he's also like 12. So and then the toy cavoodle, he's just the exact same as my lab cattle dog. He's just like, Kai, you're awesome. That's a person. Kai, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's the easiest way to then train them. You can gain eye contact. They just want you. Like,
Yeah.
it's just awesome.
That's the
just
goal.
build a relationship with your dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Like and
Oh.
that's the thing too. Like if you're lacking time, right? Then you have to learn how to train the dog properly. If you've got an abundance of time, right, you really don't need to train your dog at all. So, and I'll give you an example, all right? You ever seen a homeless person with a dog? You ever notice how well behaved that dog is?
Yes.
Now, as a rule, no disrespect to any homeless people out there, because I know there's a lot of people that have just had some bad luck and fucking shit happens, right? But there are a lot of homeless people that are homeless because they're probably a bit shit at life. Now, those people are probably not fucking that are shit at life are probably not super great at training dogs magically, right? You're not, some people are just not good at stuff. But why are all of their dogs always really well behaved? Because they're spending 24 hours a day with that dog.
Yeah, okay. A lot of the people around Bathurst, the homeless people around Bathurst, they're literally just walking with their dogs off lead, and their dog's like, "Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? Like, we just, there you go."
If you spend
Yeah.
that much time with the dog, you and that dog just develop that bond, and you don't have to train it, right?
That's insane.
Not like there's probably there's obviously exceptions to that rule. If you get some dog that's
Well,
crazy
yeah.
high drive that wants to hunt and wants to run away, then it's probably not going to make a good homeless person's dog. But that's more time you spend with your dog, the less you have to train them, unless of course you're a complete idiot and you're just doing the complete wrong things, right? Like if you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
working and you're taking your dog to the dog park every day and doing all this other stuff, then it's just like, yeah, you're probably not going to get it right.
Basically, you just build that respect. It's just a mutual
Yeah.
respect, basically. If it looks up to you and cherishes you, which they should, then they'll just be like, "Yeah, all right, we go where this guy goes."
Yeah,
Oh,
good-
we
good
don't want to
shit
run
comes
away
from
when
you.
we go out front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dogs, I think the worst thing I've done with them, but like it's still good, is that whenever they go out front, I allow them to run up to the mailbox. There's like a little garden we have, and it's like it's too far to what I'd like, but at the same time they're like, "Nah, that's the garden. We go there and we'll be right back." It's further than I would have wanted, but at the same time I'm like, "Ah, you're not doing any harm. That's one thing. I'll just let it slide." And they know that it's like we go there, we turn around, back we go. So I think it's just because of all those years they just follow me to the mailbox and instinctually they're like, "All right, mailbox," and then we're back. But once again, routine. Dogs
Routine
are
and
cool.
routine and habits, man. Routine and habits.
Yeah, dogs are cool. God, I love dogs. Well, this is totally off topic. I just moved back to Eglinton, which is a little kind of suburb here in Bathurst. I lived here many years ago when I first got them, and they remember the dude across the road who plays tennis, and they just go over there all the time, and they're just waiting for that tennis ball. He used to just
Where's
flog
that
it
stray
into
ball?
the oval. Yeah, and he's like, chuck it, there we go. They just know. They remember, they're like, nah, that's mad. So they just go over there. They got out the first day I moved here. They got out, and I was not dreading it, but because of other people, I was dreading it. People are stupid. And they literally just went across the road, got their tennis balls, sat down, kind of looked each way on the road, and just come back and just went and collected tennis balls. And the dude over there who knows them, he was like, "Yeah, dude, I just kept giving them tennis balls and just to make sure they didn't go anywhere." But they know, like, they were like, "All right, cool," because they watch it out the window. That's where their instincts come in. They were like, "Oh no, I want that tennis ball." So instead of going all the way over and being idiots, he would just kind of chuck it out, and then they'd be like, "All right, we'll go back." So, but yeah.
But see, the dog's wanting the tennis ball, right? So there's just a little insight into dog behaviour. That's dog with prey drive pointed in the right direction, right? Because if you think about it, every single game that a dog enjoys playing is 100% an act or practicing something from the prey sequence. Every single thing that a dog enjoys doing is part of the prey sequence. Like sniff, stalk, sight, chase, bite, kill, consume. Right. So if it sees a tennis ball and it starts chasing it, right, that's part of the prey sequence. You see two dogs playing with each other. Where do they bite? On the throat.
Yeah, the scruff there. And the little shaky shake they do as well.
That's every single thing that a dog enjoys doing is part of the predatory sequence. So if you can point that predatory sequence in the right direction, it's enrichment. It's enrichment for your dog.
Yeah, that's why I use tennis balls as rewards for my Staffy. That dude is like obsessed. You want him to do anything? Bang, tennis ball.
Toys are a better reward than food. When you can get a dog driven, 100%. That's why you look at all the police dogs and military dogs and security dogs. They're all with a toy, not food.
Well, I'm my lab. I'm his reward. My Staffy, he likes me with a tennis ball. Got it all covered. Yeah. But nah, that's awesome, man. Well, we'll probably cut this in a bit. But is there anything you wanted to add? Any bits of wisdom? Anything you want to yell at people for in a politely professional way, or anything like that? Or you feel like you've just covered all your bases?
Politely professional? No. If I have to be polite and professional, I don't want to fucking do it.
Well, I said in your politely professional way.
No, look, at the end of the day, so there's a couple of things I'd just like to say, right? If anyone is thinking about getting a dog, research the breed. If you don't know much about dogs, find someone who does that can help you recommend a good breed. Don't get a breed because what it looks like, what the status symbol it may be, or anything like that, right? Because the thing is, those dogs are going to be different. Every dog's needs are different. Make sure you get the right one, right? Train the dog. The day that dog training starts is the day you get it, right? It's the day you get it. Not in fucking 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. Like, you start training that dog the first day you get it, right? If you've got an existing dog, like I said, hand feeding. If you want that dog to do anything, you want that dog to look at you and pay attention, right? Hand feeding that dog, increase your importance. But research your breed. Also, don't get a fucking second dog because you think your dog needs a friend. You do that, you're a dumbass. Beautiful. You heard it here first. As I said, I'm probably going to be making so many TikToks. You'll snippet that. You'll be like, can you use that?
Let's do this. Let's use that. I wonder if TikTok will be like, nah, he's swearing too much. Facebook and YouTube will be like, nah, he cool.
TikTok are pretty good for swearing. As long as like the reason that my TikTok account got banned is because it was always I'd do a reply comment or I'd stitch a video and then it was always. But then even though my wording was pretty good, I wasn't like, this person's a stupid idiot. I would be like, if you do what this person does, you're an idiot. Or it's like, this person abusing their chihuahua. That video has 7 million views. That means there's 7 million likes. I'm like, that means there's 7 million idiots that think dog abuse is okay. And then someone to report that video and be like, that's harassment and bullying. Same.
TikTok, social media, the world. Awesome. Well, before we do jump out, since he doesn't have his TikTok anymore, there should be a link somewhere in this video in one of these areas that has his Instagram, which you can find everything there. And we've also tagged him in a lot on our Facebook, and I definitely going to put that video up. No, that's all good. Facebook's my biggest platform, like the others. I don't know why. It's weird how it works, but yeah, so this is my base of operations. But yeah, if you send me that video as well, I'll swing it up. A lot of the people keep commenting, does he have the video? Does he have photos? I was like, I'll get it. Just one thing at a time.
There was a little snippet and the photo on, I think the most recent video I did today, I used a sound and then there was a little bit of that video. But I'll put it up again on my story, and also I'll send it to you.
Yeah, man.
And yeah,
No,
snap away.
legendary. No, awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us on Live Fridays, episode 3. Next week is episode 4 with we have Carry Me Home Dog Rescue. So we're getting our first rescue on the show, which
Cool.
that one's going to be pretty interesting. So it should be good. But anyway, everybody have a good one, and it was a pleasure having you, man.
Too easy, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, will do. See you, dude.
See you, man.
And